Hi, this is Charles with an introduction to Ancient Battles Deluxe by Victory Point Games. It's an ancient warfare game where keeping your command and control of your units and keeping in formation is very important, and you use leaders to activate formations, or you can activate units individually. So the game is driven off a command point structure where each leader indicates how many command points they get as a base. So the blue player in this instance gets a 1 command point, and the red player gets 3, I'm sorry. And you'll see the eagles on the left hand side. This tells you how many command points that unit gets. So the first thing that happens in the game is the leaders are removed from the board, and then we do an army panic check. Now the army panic check is just a morale, just a way for the units to track how well they're doing in the battle here. This is the casualty record track here, and you'll notice that the blue player is at 21 and the red player is at 16. So in the beginning of the game, there's nothing really to worry about as far as the panic check, and then we go to receive the command points. So the red player will roll a die and check this command table here. So red player, blue player. Alright, so let's see, 4 and 5 are both +2. So we'll go to this track, and we'll add 2 to the red player and 2 to the blue player. Now we determine initiative, red player, blue player. So if there was a tie, on the first turn, the A player wins. So you look at the scenario card, see which player is the A, and let's take a look at the scenario card real quick. So looking at the scenario card, we're looking at Hattin here in the 1187 AD, and the blue player is the Lusignan player. And you'll notice the units at the start of the game are in the HA, located in E6 with a direction facing of 3. Now if you're playing the Vassal module, you won't have to worry about all the setup stuff because all the setup's going. But facing is important in this game. You can only stack 1 unit per hex. So you set up these units as indicated. Heavy archer, heavy infantry at F7 facing in the direction of 3, heavy infantry in G7 facing the direction of 3. And this is the war wagon in H8. It has no directional facing. The knights there. And then the Saladin player, which is the red player, starts with 4 LCs on the board and a war wagon and a leader A and a leader B. Now the leader A's and B's are placed at the very beginning of the turn, and we won't worry about that for the moment. They do not start the turn on the board, but you'll basically pick which formation is more important for you to activate, and use this command to activate a leader and its formation with it, or activate an individual unit. The reinforcements, which are 6 heavy cavalry, which come in on turn 1, can enter from any map edge. So at the very beginning of the game, we'll place our leaders. We'll place one of those red leaders with the reinforcements off the board, and then whoever wins the initiative will basically do an action. And then the red player can either react with the LC's cavalry on the board to the blue player's playing, or they can activate the reinforcements and bring them off the board. So the units coming in from off the board have to pay 1 movement point to come onto the board, and that's how the games begin. So the red player won initiative. I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to flip this to be the red players. I thought there was an initiative marker in here somewhere. So the red player won the initiative, and he'll have the option of going first. And let's see. So now we'll place the leaders, beginning one at a time, and the initiative player decides who goes first. So we'll place the leaders on the board. So we'll place this 2x leader with this unit here, who kind of protect the flank, because these guys will probably try to come up. If you look at the the units themselves, you'll see on the right hand side you have the movement rating. In the middle you have the strength. I'm sorry, yeah, that's right. So taking a quick look at the unit types here, you'll see we have light infantry. They have a movement rating of 3, a combat firepower of 2. They have a missile defense of +1 in the top right here. You have medium infantry, movement of 2, combat strength of 4. Heavy infantry, movement of 2, combat strength of 4. Phalanx, pikemen, light archers. The hexagon indicates that they are ranged and how far they can attack, and this is how many times they can attack, and their combat strength is 3. Heavy archers, missile units, light cavalry, heavy cavalry, and knights. So here we have the knights. So we're going to place our leaders onto the board here. This leader will go with the reinforcements that are on the record track up here. And they can come in from any turn during that leader's command activation. And then we've got a leader here to protect that end. And then we've also got a leader here. Okay. So the red player has the initiative, and he's going to let the blue player go first. So the blue player will use 1 command point, activate this leader, and activate all the units in this formation. Again, they're all facing the same direction, so we're okay. And we move those units to come in contact with these units here. So now that all those units are activated, they can move, but they don't have to move in the same direction, and they don't have to move in the same facing. So that's important to remember, to try to keep that cohesion, because keeping the command point structure of using a leader token to activate a formation, which means all of them have to be facing the same direction, can hurt you in later turns if you're not adjacent and facing the same direction. So by separating your units and doing a flank attack surrounding somebody, all of them facing towards one end, gives you good strength sometimes, but it hurts you on command points in the next turn possibly. So let's talk about movement real quickly. When you activate this unit to move, you get 1 free rotation. And that's free. If you wanted to do another rotation, it would cost you 1 MP. So let's do another. So that's 1 MP, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm already past our movement rating here, I'm sorry. So that was free. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. We want to keep our camp nearby here, so that's 3 movement points. These guys will move forward 1, 2, and that's all they can do. 1, 2, and 1 and 2. Alright, and so that's the end of the movement. Our activations are done. And now all these units are marked with a yellow marker to indicate that their actions are done and they can't do anything else this turn. Okay. So that cost us 1 of our command points, and now it's the red player's turn, and he uses 1 of his command points, brings it down 1, to activate his leader here and the formation that comes in, and he comes in from any section of the board he wants to, any side of the board according to the scenario notes. Okay, so just moving onto the board cost us 1 movement point. 1, I'm sorry, that's 2, 3, 4, and that's free, and 5. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're not facing the same direction now, so that we could have lost some of that cohesion. We do have a leader with him, so that's going to make him stronger. Let's attack. We've got that other leader right next to him, so that's going to be nice. So these are all facing the same direction, and this leader is adjacent to them, so these can become a new formation. You know, he basically has changed where he's coming from. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, I'm sorry, that's 2. Okay, so the reinforcements have arrived and formed a nice solid line here. We've got this formation still facing the same direction, and this formation facing the same direction here. And then we'd go into melee combat. All of the units have been ordered here. And then if we wanted to do something here, we could. But they're entered into a zone of control right now, and there's really not too much to do except for doing melee. And melee we will cover in a separate video. And so that's pretty much it for the game turn. Even though we have more command points left, there's really nothing else that we want to do with our units, and so we'll stop right here.